and nothing I desire compares to you. Lord, you are more precious than silver. Lord, you are more priceless than gold. Lord, you are more beautiful than diamonds, and nothing I desire compares to you. Father, thank you today for your goodness, your mercy, your grace, your kindness. Thank you for your love that you show us over and over again. You're an amazing God. We live with our heart, our mind, our body, our soul, and our strength. It's your ways, God. Show us your plan. We want to live for you, God, with all that we have and all that we'll do. We say yes to you, Lord, now and forevermore. In Jesus' name, amen. God bless you. You can receive your everything all is done. Those in the youth class, you live your respective classes. It is an honor to be able to be here today. Thanking God for what He has, how He's blessed us, and the rich kindness that He shows us over and over again. So it's great to see each of you here. Those who are watching by YouTube Live, God bless you guys for hanging out with us on today. Those who are watching by Facebook Live, God bless you guys for hanging out with us on today. And to Trina, good evening to you. It's a privilege and an honor for us to be able to be here. Thank you, Lord, for what how He has blessed us and how He continues to show forth His blessings and His kindness unto us. And I'm just thankful for how the Lord has His granted what He's done in my own life. I'm grateful for that. I mentioned over on Sunday, the Lord has blessed us to be able to now be preaching for 30 years, and I'm real honored by that. So the other classes I'll show you guys as well. This Bible here is the first Bible I used to preach out of. So this is over 30 years ago. This was the first Bible I used to preach. And so it's got the date in there and everything to commemorate the moment I actually went to the store and Bible bookstore and bought this Bible just for that occasion. Wrote the date in there for it and everything. And so I used this particular one to preach my first initial sermon. The first time I ever preached was from Ephesians the 6th chapter, and last Saturday I had to preach, which was this Saturday, which marked the 30 years, and on that day I preached from Ephesians 6 again. And so it's an honor to be doing this, and I'm just privileged to be able to share with you all today. Now, back then, I was writing my notes down by hand, and I had a whole highlighting system, to demonstrate which portions of the sermon it was, and so it was all color coded. My notes back then, so I would know, what part of the sermon this was, and that was, so I know that. And if you looked at my notes, you'd have no idea what my system was about. But I do. When we look at the components of honor, there are 9 different things that Proverbs says about honor. We want to harvest those things and apply them to our lives so we're better lives because we understand what honor actually is. Let's get started with today. Those who are watching by YouTube Live, if you hit that share button so somebody can be blessed by this and tag somebody in this, we really appreciate that. Those who are watching by YouTube Live, if you guys can hit that share button, please, so somebody can be blessed by this, and also tag somebody in this as well. It's always great for someone to be able to watch on record. So if you're watching this now, later on on recorded already, God bless you. Thank you for taking the time to do that. You can be blessed by this entire lesson today. Let's get started. We're surrounded by systems of honor. You can't go very far without having honor in your life. Meaning then from our traffic laws indicate honor, the entrance and exit of a building indicates honor. You're actually honoring the system that has been laid out to walk in this way and walk out another way. By staying in the traffic lines, you're honoring the system of the law by stopping at the light and also at the stop sign. You're honoring the law, but you're also honoring other people that are on the road as well. You're showing honor to them because you have a regard for their life and also their well-being. So honor is all around us. It's our means by which we recognize and distinguish varying achievements and also success. And also, oftentimes, honor becomes lines of demarcation and distinction for certain statuses and also offices. If you're in a business meeting, a formal meeting, and there's a chairman or also president, the proper way to address the chairman is, if it's a man, you're saying, Mr. Chairman, or if it's a lady, Madam Chairman, or Madam President, or Mr. President. That's understands, because honor. If you're speaking to the President of the United States, the proper protocol is, whether you like the President or not, the proper protocol is to address him as Mr. President, because you understand honor. It's a system of honor. If you're in a courtroom, this is really interesting, the judge that sits behind the seat, we address him as, if you're talking to him, you'll say, Your Honor. Now, it's interesting because you're recognizing that he is honorable or she is honorable, and you're simply using the words Your Honor, showing that you address the honorable position that they are in. So honor is all around us. It's a system of honor that we are ingratiated in. You're taught very early in your life to honor your parents. Honor your parents. The Bible says to us in Exodus 20, verse number 12, honor your father and mother, that your days may be long in the land the Lord your God is giving you. So we're to show honor to our parents for the reason of, by doing so, you extend your life. So consider this. In this instance, we're showing that honor brings long life. Honor would bring long life. So honoring your father and honoring your mother. Ephesians chapter 6, verse 2 and 3 says, honor your father and mother, this is the first commandment of the promise, that it may go well with you, and that you may have long life in the land. So we're taught again to show honor. Most of us, in growing up, you were taught in that system of honor, you were given two means by which to remember honor, and that is by positive reinforcement or by negative reinforcement. So you were rewarded when you gave honor properly. You were rewarded. But at the same time, if you did not show the proper honor that you were supposed to, then there was a negative reinforcement that was given. I know, especially in our household, that was the case. With the belt, the switch, the fly swatters, so on and so forth, there was that negative reinforcement if you didn't show proper honor. And so, again, you were taught honor. You were taught honor. The Bible also shows us that we are to honor the governmental authorities. We're supposed to honor governmental authorities. 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 17 says that we're to honor the king. Honor the king. That word king means the magistrate or ruler. So that in democracy, that would indicate like a president or prime minister. So we're supposed to honor them. You're to honor the emperor. So depending on what type of government you have, whoever is in authority, we're supposed to show honor to them. In the 13th chapter of Romans, we learn this at the beginning of that chapter, that all governments have come out of God. Every government, whether it is an oligarchy, a monarch, or a democracy, or a republic, or dictatorship, whatever it is, it has come forth from God. Come forth from God. As you keep reading in Romans 13, you discover that every person who sits in a governmental position is a vassal or an agent of God. Now that's amazing to me, because as the Bible shows us, that whoever sits in that position, they're an agent of God. And the agent is there to help people not only to understand the law of the land, but to drive them closer to God. The Bible shows us in various occasions that there were wicked leaders who were corrupt, and it caused the people one to pray. It invoked revival in the land, and it drove them back to God. Sometimes in those instances, there was a revolution that took place as well. So just because someone may be elected doesn't mean necessarily, you can see this as well. It's one thing for God to allow someone and they all work for him. It's another thing for God to actually put the person in place. What do I mean by that? Everybody who's in a position works for him, but it doesn't always mean that God says, well, I want this person here because they're best suited. Sometimes God puts that person there or allows them to be there because of the wickedness of the people's heart. He will then remove them once they will turn their hearts back to him. It's really amazing. So he approves them, but it doesn't mean that's what God wants necessarily, because what he wants is for all men to walk holy and upright before him. So even elected officials are put there or endorsed or perhaps even approved by God. Romans 13:7 says this: pay to whom what is owed them. Taxes to whom taxes are owed. Revenue to whom revenue is owed. Respect to whom respect is owed. Honor to whom honor is owed. So we are to give respect. Now, and consider what's being said here. It doesn't mean that they have earned your respect. It means that because they are to be respected, we're to show respect to them. It doesn't mean because they're so great to you that you be honorable to them. Because if they deserve honor because of their position, show honor to them. We're also taught in Scripture to honor spiritual leaders as well. To honor spiritual leaders as well. The Bible says in 1 Timothy 5:17, let the elder who rules well consider worthy of double honor. That's interesting. So take what you would normally do in other instances, but when it comes to one who is ruling in God's house, double that. Especially those, the text says, those who labor in preaching and in teaching. For a long time in the office, and it's just a running joke that I have with Sister Judy. I would often ask her, what's her favorite Bible verse, and she give out one to me, and I'd say, no, your favorite Bible verse is Hebrews 13:17. Obey does not have the rule over you. And she says, oh, Pastor, get out of here. So we'd be laughing back and forth with that one. But the text actually tells us, obey your leaders and submit to them, for they are keeping watch over your souls, as those who will have to give an account. Let them do it with joy and not with groaning, for that would be of no advantage to you. So we are to honor those who are in our spiritual leaders as well. The Bible tells us as well. We are to honor widows. We're to honor widows. 1 Timothy 5:3-4 says, honor widows who are truly widows. But if a widow has a child or a grandchild, let them first learn to show godliness to their own household and to make some return to their parents, for this is pleasing in the sight of God. And so that we are to make sure to honor widows, but at the same time, if that widow is a part of our own family, showing godliness. And that's interesting. To show godliness would mean that we're taking care of our parents and also grandparents. That shows godliness, and that is pleasing to God. Now, if you see that text there, it's not talking about you speaking in tongues. Glory to God. Or it's not the prayer that you have. That's just actually showing honor for the sacrifice and giving return to your parents for what they have done in your own life. Then, just in case you might say to yourself, I don't fall into any of those categories. Well, I got a verse for you. We're told to honor everyone. 1 Peter 2:17 says, honor everyone. Honor everyone. So it's not just those who we revere and think that are superior to us. We're to show honor to absolutely everyone. Everyone is to be honored. Now, last but certainly not least, but most importantly, we are to honor the Lord. We're to honor the Lord. Exodus, the 20th chapter, starting in verse number 2, says, part of the commandments, I am Lord your God who brought the land of Egypt out of the house of slavery. You shall not have other gods before me. You shall not make for yourselves a carved image or any likeness of anything that is in the heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. You shall not bow down to them, or serve them, for I, the Lord your God, am a jealous God, visiting iniquity of the fathers on the children to the third and the fourth generation of those who hate me, but showing steadfast love to thousands of those who love me and keep my commandments. You shall not take the name of the Lord your God in vain, for the Lord will not hold him guiltless who takes his name in vain. Here's the concept. We're told then, in honoring God, we're to honor who he is, we're to honor the position that he has, and we're to honor his name. Again, we are to honor who God is, we're to honor the position that he has, and we're to also to honor his name as well. In Matthew, the 22nd chapter, verse 37 and 38, according to the Old Testament, Deuteronomy 6 and 5, when asked what was the greatest commandment, the scribes asked Jesus this, he responds, you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart and your soul and all your mind. This is the great and the first commandment. And so we're to, in our honor of God, our love is shown with all of our heart, our soul, and our mind. We are to show this honor to him. Lastly then, in Proverbs chapter 3, verse 9 and 10, honor the Lord with your wealth and with the first of your produce. Then your barns will be filled with plenty, and your vats will be bursting with wine. Systems of honor are all around us. Everywhere we are, you're going to see honor. Think about it. School graduations. Individuals that they matriculate through the academia, and they've gone from meeting all the SOL, Centers of Learning, and they're passing with at least the appropriate markings. And because they're doing that, we have a celebratory day with which we honor those who have come down and they've met all the Centers of Learning, passing all the appropriate classes, and now we hold this graduation as to honor them. We require them to put on a robe and have on, a hat, put that tassel there, and family will come, and they're standing, in the stands, and the person who is in charge. We all gonna sit there waiting for the graduate. We don't really care who is speaking. We try our best to listen to the person who gives the keynote address. What we've come for is not who's going to give the address. We've come to see our loved one walk across that stage. And sometimes the people will be told, wait until everybody's name is called, and then, you can scream out. Just show some respect. But what still happens is, no matter what they're saying, that person's name is called. And you've got a mother or father who knew that their son, their daughter, they show hard. And they're just so proud. They knew that's my baby right there. They're walking across that stage. And because of this great elation that's in them, they're screaming because they're just overwhelmed with excitement. Then you've got the college graduation. There's a mother or a father or a person who has gone through great ordeals, to make it to the graduation. It's always, you can always see the church folks, it's really funny to me. They'll call that person's name and they get up on stage like, oh, hallelujah. They're kind of getting over like, oh, thank you, Jesus. They're kind of rocking back and forth, and it's like, and then here you come, there's a YouTube moment, somebody be at the phone, because now this person is like, and you see them jumping up and down, so you're like, oh, they went to church, you already know them. But because of the joy that's there, and as we're honoring now, the achievements of these individuals. There's the valedictorian who has excelled above the others, and they're entitled now to give a speech to the class. Then there are those who are in the 3 to 5 percentile, and they're distinguished, and we note them by phrases of Latin that say things like summa cum laude, magna cum laude, or cum laude. So we're saying of the highest honors, or with great honors, or with honors. We're showing that these individuals have excelled. Then there are those in armed forces who have made great sacrifices for country and for kin. And now we give various medals, and one of the highest medals we give is a medal of honor because of the great courage and sacrifice that the individual has made. Being honored and recognized is a great part of what we do in our system, and there are many people who make a very big deal about being honored. How do we know that? We dress up formally because of honor. We take pictures because of honor. We go to banquets because of honor. We host parties because of honor. We present awards because of honor. We tell stories about achievement because of honor. So someone will get up and they'll talk about what this person has done, and they'll share stories of tragedy and triumph and all kinds of things. And perhaps even the person who is to be honored comes up and they share themselves about the triumph of what one has done. We honor actors, we honor athletes, and then so they come up, and then I want to thank my mom, I want to thank my dad, I want to thank those who believed in me when I was down and out. I remember when I slept in my car, and all these things are going on because of simply of being honored for the work or the achievement of what one has done. Unfortunately, there are those who they crave honor to the point of personal exaltation and deception. Absalom is one of those individuals. And if you look at Absalom, I mean, he's quite the guy. He's handsome, the Bible says. He has nice flowing hair, he's charming, and he's intellectual. The guys like to hang out with him because he was a good dude. The girls, they admired him because he was good looking. And so he's the kind of guy that you'd like to have around. Problem was, he thought he could run his father's kingdom better than he could his own self. So 2 Samuel 13 chapter 18 sees the coup that Absalom, he actually ended up making it against his father. And what we actually see is the dishonor of Absalom, but we see the honor of David. David left the city of Jerusalem, and he left the palace not because he was afraid of his son, he was a man of war. But because he did not want to go to war with his son. That was his flesh and blood. He would rather leave out of the city. David, why are you leaving the city? Because he is a man of honor. David had chances to kill Saul and take the throne. But because he was a man of honor, he knew he wasn't supposed to do so. Therefore, we have the psalm written, "Touch not God's anointed, and do my prophets no harm." David understood honor, and even when Saul was dishonorable, he understood honor. Sadly, there is a different system of honor between what men do and what God does. Among men, unfortunately, we rate honor based off of importance, and because of wealth, and because of possessions, and because of achievements. And we believe that if a person possesses these things, that they deserve to be honored. Think about it. I'll use the church as an example. In church, we have pulpits, and in that pulpit on that platform, there'll be chairs that are set out and distinguished for the clergy and pastors who are sitting there. And it's easy for you to know who the pastor is because the pastor has the biggest chair. Get the biggest chair. and let's just be honest. Let's be honest. The truth is, some of the pastors' chairs, they look like thrones. They're huge. And you wonder to yourself, where in the world did you get that chair? I mean, it's huge. I mean, it literally is. It's a throne. And the president is in a seat like that. This is a throne, And I told this in the two of the Bible studies, so I'll tell you guys as well. I have learned it's a small world, so I won't name names or churches or whatever. But I went to a church once, and it had, across the front, up front was the chairs, and varying size chairs as well, so you would know, where to sit. The pastor had the largest chairs, but in this particular church, where we had these seats across the front, there was an opening in the middle and stairs that are sitting up, and the pastor was sitting on a chair above everybody else, with a chair bigger than everybody else in there, because you got to know my mind, I had all kind of crazy thoughts, and I'm laughing, and I will not share with you, because You may not be able to handle the thoughts that I had, but it was hilarious. And so I'm dying laughing, thinking, like, wow, like, I wonder what it means to get to walk up those stairs and sit in that big old chair. As children, and I said I was going to tell this, but I guess I will tell this one. We were taught in church, not to sit in the pastor's chair. Some of you grew up in church and you don't go in the pulpit and don't you dare sit in the pastor's chair. Now, I told this earlier at Bible today. I had never done this before, but I looked up this story right now. Lord forgive me in Jesus' name. But I never done it before until today. So it came my time to clean the church. And so I'm in by myself, so I'm cleaning the church right now. And there's this curious part of me that says, you're going to sit in that chair. I'm in the pool and I'm cleaning that, and I'm like, I don't know, like, because, I'm like, should I, sadly, I gave in the temptation, God help me. I sat in the chair, and immediately I'm kind of looking around, like, is God going to get me? Because I just sat in the pastor's chair, I'm looking around, thinking, one of the saints might pop out, and then, boom, I see you sitting there. And so, because of my training, I get out of the chair, and I am convicted because I was taught, don't you do that. So I'm asking, oh Lord, I'm so sorry, God, I won't do it no more, Jesus, all that kind of thing. But because of honor. That's why we were taught those things, because of honor. The Lord, on the other hand, He's not into the thing that we're into, not in the least. God honors those who are faithful, who are obedient, and who are holy. You can take the scripture and you'll find it. God honors the faithful. God honors the obedient. God honors those who are holy. I'll give you one scripture to prove it. The Lord says, well done, thou good and faithful. Yeah, isn't that interesting? Good and faithful servant. You have been faithful. He didn't say you were rich or intelligent. He said you have been faithful. You've been faithful. God honors the faithful. He honors the obedient. God honors the holy. Those are the virtues that God considers. And so what you want to work on is making sure that you are faithful. You want to make sure that you are obedient. You want to make sure that you are holy, because those are the virtues that God honors. In Proverbs today, we're going to mine through and discover some treasures that will help us cultivate a culture of honor, so that we ourselves. In last week's lesson, what did we learn last week? Somebody? Yes, sir.
Laziness reveals immaturity.
Okay, yes, sir. Absolutely. Somebody else? What did we learn last week? Last week's lesson. Yes, sir.
Time has value.
Okay, time has value. Yes.
You don't want your circumstances to guide your behavior.
Okay, good. Somebody else? What did we learn? What did we learn? Laziness is unattractive. Definitely. It's unattractive. Right? Great. Now, we've been working on our 40 Bs. We're working on our 40 Bs. And so hopefully, and we're almost there. We're not quite there yet. We should be about a week and a half or so when we finish with those. Unless you started late, that's okay. Keep going with them. What B are you on today? What B are you on today? Yes, sir?
I'm on be moral.
Be moral? All right. Somebody else, what are you on today? All right. Now, in case you did not have your paper, we have in the back, all right, copies of the 40 Bs. Please take one with you. You'll find they're extremely helpful. Your mind is going to begin to open up to a number of things, and you'll find your potential actually being unleashed. So please take one with you. Be intentional, okay? Be intentional. And since we just learned that God honors those who are obedient, be obedient, okay? Be obedient. Wonderful. Trina says, take ownership of your mistakes, absolutely. And Takora says that God has not given seeds to lazy people. Absolutely. All right, let's go today and start looking at components of honor. The Hebrew word for honor means to glorify or to promote. To glorify or promote. So now, let's look at some scriptures that we considered using these two words. If we are to honor the Lord, that means we are to glorify the Lord, or we are to promote the Lord, right? If we're to honor widows, that means we are to glorify widows, or we are to promote widows, okay? If we are to honor everyone, that means we are to glorify everyone, or we are to promote everyone. See how this is working? If we're to honor our parents, our fathers and mothers, then we are to glorify our parents, or we are to promote our parents. The Greek word for honor means to prize, to value, to revere. Again, working the same concept. If it means to honor the Lord, we are to value the Lord or revere the Lord. If it means our parents, we are to value our parents or revere our parents. If it's widows, we are to value our widows or revere the widows. If it is everyone, we are to value everyone or to revere everyone. If it's the governmental leaders, we are to value our governmental leaders, we are to revere the governmental leaders. If it's our spiritual leaders, we are to value our spiritual leaders, we are to revere our spiritual leaders. In the English, the word for honor means to esteem, to regard, to treat with respect and admiration, to give special recognition, Now, here's the amazing thing. When we're talking about honor, he's not just saying, again, he's not saying that you show value to those who show value to you. He's not saying that at all. He's not saying show honor those who honor you. He's not saying that at all. We're to honor those to whom honor is due. Okay? If they're due honor, then show them honor. If they're due respect, show them that they respect. It doesn't mean that their works are great, or that they've done only good things. We're to be honorable to all and show that respect and admiration. So when I'm using these three working definitions, what we want to do is look at the components of honor. Because what leads to honor in our own personal life? So we want to consider then these principles. There are 9 components of honor found in Proverbs. Let's take a look at them. Number 1. The first one is wisdom gives honor. Again, number 1 is wisdom gives honor. Wisdom gives honor. Proverbs chapter 4, verse 8 and 9. And I want you to pay attention to these words here in these next couple of verses, because these next few verses are actually tied together, and they show us some great principles. If we started in the 7th verse, the 7th verse of Proverbs 4 tells us wisdom is a principal thing, with all you're going to get understanding. So it's dealing with wisdom and how we're to prize wisdom and how wisdom is used. So wisdom. Verse 8 then says, talking about wisdom, exalt her, and she shall promote you. She shall bring you to honor if you embrace her. Now, for those of you who underline and highlight scriptures, here's what I want you to do. Underline, exalt her, embrace her. Exalt her, embrace her. That's important. If you exalt wisdom, wisdom's going to promote you. If you embrace wisdom, wisdom's going to bring you to honor. Consider that. If you exalt wisdom, wisdom's going to promote you. If you embrace wisdom, wisdom's going to bring you to honor. It also says, by doing those two things, she's going to give you a head of your head an ornament of grace, and a crown of glory shall she deliver to you. If you exalt wisdom, she's going to promote you. If you embrace wisdom, she's going to bring you to honor. She's going to also give to your head an ornament of grace and bring a crown of glory to you. Watch how the next one ties in. Proverbs 3, verse 16. Long life is in her right hand, and in her left hand are riches and honor. So imagine now, if wisdom is going to bring honor to you, wisdom's walking to you. And if wisdom's walking your direction, in her right hand she has long life. In her left hand, because she's bringing you honor, chapter 4, verse 8 and 9 said, because she's bringing you honor, in her left hand she has honor and she has riches, because she's coming to you. You had just exalted her, and now you're going to embrace wisdom. So since you're embracing wisdom, she's bringing long life to you. She's bringing riches and honor to you. But wait a minute now. If you honor your father and mother, your days shall be long. So wisdom is going to bring you long life because you understand honor. That's interesting. Let's go a little further. Proverbs 8:18 says, riches and honor are with me, enduring wealth and righteousness. So wisdom is talking, saying to us that when I come to you, glory to God, riches are with me. Honor is with me. Where is it? Chapter 3, verse 16 just said it's in her left hand. Glory to God. And she has enduring wealth and righteousness with her. Okay? Now, Proverbs 12, verse 8 says, a man shall be commended according to his honor. But he that is of a perverse heart shall be despised. Here's the text there. It's actually saying to us and showing us that a person who is wise, they're going to be commended for their honor, of their wisdom. They're going to be recommended, they'll be recognized because of the wisdom that they have. What have they done? They've learned to exalt wisdom. They've learned to embrace wisdom. And because they do this, they're being commended because of their wisdom. But someone who is of perverse heart, someone who is foolish, will be despised. What's all this saying to us? Well, it's saying that we should learn to embrace wisdom and exalt wisdom. We should literally keep prizing wisdom and be built up every day by wisdom. How have you decided today to bring wisdom to add to your life? What wise principle or what have you gained or learned today to actually build you up to be a better person, to make you a better version of yourself? What are you doing? What have you learned? Now, wisdom that just teaches or shows us all things that we've done right. Wisdom helps us to remember. Don't go down that road again. Last time you went there, in this way. Don't keep repeating that same thing over again. Wisdom shows us that. Don't keep touching that stove. You've touched it 3 times and got burnt 3 times. Stop touching the stove. Wisdom teaches us this. So we're learning, we're gaining day by day. If you recognize the value of wisdom and its importance, then you're going to be honored and you will be valued as well. In other words, if you honor wisdom, wisdom will honor you. If you value wisdom, wisdom will value you. If you honor wisdom, wisdom will honor you. If you value wisdom, wisdom will value you. And people will see that you're honorable, and people will see that you're valuable. Yeah, they'll recognize that because of who you are. So that means that we must remain teachable. We've got to be teachable. We've got to be teachable. One thing I always appreciate doing, and still do today, is in growing up, I had the privilege of being able to drive the speaker, pick the speaker up, and different things. And my phase, and I couldn't wait because we would talk. When you pick the preacher up, don't just start talking. Be respectful because they may be meditating or whatever. So you remain quiet. And you speak when spoken to. That's proper protocol. So that's what we did. But you always waited for, and you ate for that moment. Please say something to me. Ask me how I'm doing, what's been going on, or whatever. And then if they open a door, to enter into a conversation, and I had for my phase, I already had my proper leaders. I already knew if I say this. That floodgate is going to open, and they're just going to start depositing, and I can just rake it all in. And so I waited for moments like that because I wanted them to answer questions that I had, or just begin to share something. And sometimes it was way over my head, and I was like, that's about my pay grade. I have no idea what you're talking about. So I'd take that in the story for later because I want to know what they just said because I had no idea as to what that was. Wisdom understands that you must always be teachable. Always be teachable. I'm discovering now, after all these years of ministering, the same thing that I did to other people, well, they're doing to me. So, then I'll be in the car or something, and they'll, hey, how you been doing? And then after a while, they want to, and I just feel like, give about 30 minutes from the airport to the hotel to the church or whatever. I don't know who you are. I at least need to find out your name. And so I'll spark up a conversation in order to try to engage in something. And my ladies, one of the guys started talking, and I deduced, well, he's new to ministry, because the question that he was asking, I knew what he was doing, because I'd been there before, I had done the same thing, you know. And so when I get to the airport, I asked him, he's like, oh, thank you so much, man, it was a blessing. And I told him, well, yeah, I knew it, I used to say things, you know, to others as well. I get you. And he was appreciating that the deposit was there. The Bible tells us, if a man lacks wisdom, let him ask God. God gives it freely. So let me add this based off of principle of Scripture. The Lord tells us, don't cast your pearl to the swine. Which means then, if you want wisdom, be teachable. And if you're teachable, then ask Him, He's going to grant it to you. Glory to God. Because God is He's not going to grant His precious gems to someone who's going to spoil what's been given to them. Don't cast your pearl to the swine. What's that mean? Well, the pearl is developed out of great distress and trial. It means when a grain of sand or a parasite enters into the shell of the clam, disturbing the life of the clam in order to alleviate the pain that the clam is in. It secretes a serum to surround the parasite or the sand. It now alleviates its pain, producing something of great value. Brothers and sisters, a lot of times what we have gone through has made us valuable, and it was our pain, glory to God, initiated that value that was in us. And we have learned, don't give something that's valuable to somebody that's going to squander it. So when someone's giving you wisdom, they're sharing with you their suffering and their stresses. Glory to God. They're sharing with you the things that brought them a whole lot of pain, but now you appreciate it. You're talking about, oh, you're just a regular man, but you had no idea the stress they went to get there. Yeah. And so, when wisdom is applied, it leads to honor. When wisdom is applied, it leads to honor. Point number two. Humility leads to honor. Humility leads to honor. Proverbs 15:33 says, the fear of the Lord is the instruction of wisdom. Before honor is humility. Proverbs 18:12 says, before destruction, the heart of man is haughty, and before honor is humility. Now, notice what's going on here. Before destruction comes, a man's heart gets haughty. Before honor comes, humility is there. Proverbs 22:9. And I've said this before, so I'll tell you this. If you don't take away any verse today, take away Proverbs 22:4. Okay? If no other verse stands out to you, take this verse. Proverbs 22:4 says, the reward for humility and the fear of the Lord is riches, honor, and life. Okay? The reward for humility and the fear of the Lord is riches, honor, and life. Proverbs 29:23 says, one's pride will bring him low, but he who is lowly in spirit will obtain honor. Over and over again, we find in the Scripture that self-promotion, self-exaltation, and pride always brings one to ruin. Jesus is a great example of what humility looks like. He says, come unto me, all you are weary and laden, all you rest. Take my yoke on me, he says, and for I'm meek and lowly in heart, and you're going to find rest for your souls. Jesus, though he was rich, yet for our sakes he became poor, that through his poverty you and I might become rich. He who knew no sin was made sin for us, that through his righteousness that we might become the righteousness of God through him. So why does humility come before honor? The reason is because humility, the humble person knows that he does not know everything. The humble person, in fact, is teachable. For the Bible says God resists the proud. But he gives grace. Do you see that? God gives grace to the humble. The humble person knows his limits. The humble person knows his weakness. Therefore, he receives correction because he knows he doesn't know it all. He's limited in his knowledge. He's limited in his power. He's limited. He's weak, and he knows that if he's going to exceed, he needs impartation. God help us. You know, your prayer should be, Lord, help me to always be teachable. Yeah. Always be teachable. You want to be able to learn in any and every situation. Even in a hostile environment, Lord, help me be teachable. When the person who is giving me the lesson annoys me, help me to be teachable. If I gotta work with somebody that's disrespectful, Lord, help me to be teachable. Yeah, to be teachable. A person of humility will develop a discipline of holding his tongue. A person of humility will avoid strife with others. A person of humility will forgive his offenders. Yeah. A person of humility, they develop a discipline, holding the tongue. And I get it because sometimes you're brewing. And you're like, oh, you are ready to get them told. You can't wait, and you will set the record straight and set everything off, in the place. But a person who is humble knows how to hold their tongue. They have a discipline for that. They avoid strife, and they forgive others. Now, note this. When the Bible talks about forgiveness, we are to forgive others if we want to be forgiven.
Right.
And it doesn't say forgive those who ask for forgiveness.
Right.
Which means, whether they ask for forgiveness or not, our responsibility is to forgive them. Other people.
Let's go.
If they never come to you or not, we're supposed to forgive them and avoid strife and hold our tongue. Glory to God. These attitudes and actions lead to honor and respect from others. Number 3, godly living leads to honor. Godly living leads to honor. Proverbs 21:21 says, whoever pursues righteousness and kindness will find life, righteousness, and honor. Whoever pursues righteousness and kindness will find life, righteousness, and honor. If you think about it, we are all following something in life. Everybody is following something. I don't care who you are, where you're from, we all follow something. Something gets our attention, whether it's good or bad, and it's those things that help us to make our decisions that we're making in our life, the choices that we have. So, godly living leads to honor. And the treasure of having godly living, or living a godly life, is righteousness, life, and honor. The wise person knows he has temporal things, and they don't last. But he also understands that the enduring thing is priceless. You can't put a money on peace. There's no price that you can pay for contentment in life. There's no price that one can pay for happiness. Because the reality is, individuals can have great affluence and they're still depressed. People can have great amount of money and they have low self-esteem and low confidence. So it's not the affluence that one has or position that one has. You can't put a price on happiness. You can't put a price on love. For someone who loves you genuinely, someone that loves you purely, you can't put a price on that. These treasures belong to those who will pursue righteousness. And pursuing righteousness is the goal of every individual. The truth is, when you focus in on godly living, when you focus on that you're alert to temptations. When you focus in on your daily conduct before God and others, and living godly in this world, you'll be more aware on how you respond to people. You'll think twice about where you go, what you say, and what you do. The Bible says in 1 Timothy 6:6 that godliness with contentment is great gain. It's great gain. Number 4, graciousness leads to honor. Graciousness leads to honor. Proverbs 11, verse 16 and 17 says this. A gracious woman gets honor, and a violent man gets riches. A man who is kind benefits himself, but a cruel man hurts himself. Now, as I told you earlier, and I'll tell you all as well, when you read verses like this, I don't know how you feel, but as a man, I'm like, wait a minute, hold on now. Did you say that a woman is gracious, so a man can't be gracious? And I know semantically we talk about, he got class, he's dignified, so like that. But the reality is, it's semantically, it's actually the same thing. But semantic, yeah. But here, the word woman is shy. And Ishaya not only means feminine, but it literally means everything. It's an amazing word. Everything. And so the indication is that a gracious everything, that's male and female, by the way, gets honor. So any man or anyone that's gracious will find honor. But somebody that's violent will get riches. A person who's kind will benefit himself, but a cruel man actually hurts himself. So if you esteem others and you're respectful of others, you're going to find honor and respect coming back to you. System of reciprocity. But if you're cruel and you are aggressive, you're going to find that you're not hurting other people, you're actually hurting yourself. The end of verse number 16, it says, a violent man gets riches. This takes this proverb and it puts it in a financial setting. It literally says this here, that a wise person extends grace and mercy to those who owe him. But the aggressive person often is cruel and will terrorize people to collect money from them. Well, put it to you like this. Let me just appeal to you, from a debt collector who calls you, right? So you got the debt collector who calls, and when they call, sometimes you'll find one who's gracious. And they're kind. And so and think about your emotion when that debt collector is kind to you. When they're gracious to you, when you see that they're actually trying to help you. Now, it doesn't change the fact that you owe them, because you still owe. The issue is because of their kindness, you're more willing, you find yourself more willing to work with them because of the kindness that they show you. All right? Flip the script. You still owe. But the person who calls you is aggressive. They're shrewd, very crude in their language, very rude, very abrupt to you. Think about how you felt in that moment. Think of your responses. Did you hang up the phone? No. When they clapped at you, did you clap back? Did you say things like, who are you talking to? Think about how you still owe, but because the behavior towards you was very curt, you found yourself now moving from that posture of humility, and now they clapped at you, so you decide to clap back, and you're like, well, let me talk to your supervisor. I'm not taking this. What in the world? The difference is one was kind and the other was cruel or aggressive. But the instance is you still owe both times. Only thing that changed was the person who was talking to you. Yeah. The proverb is dealing with the fact that that people are more important than profit. So we're to treat people with respect, because if you do that, you're going to reap respect and loyalty and admiration and friendship, because graciousness leads to honor. Now, hear me clearly. I'm not saying that because they're gracious, that don't pay your debt. Pay what you owe. Right? If they're cruel, pay what you owe. Now, the issue is most times people who are aggressive, most people won't return back to that same comment because they weren't treated properly. Yeah. But people who are kind, they'll find themselves going back to that company again. Number 5. Regarding reproof leads to honor. Regarding reproof leads to honor. Proverbs 13:18 states, poverty and disgrace comes to him who ignores instruction, and whoever heeds reproof is honored. Ignoring discipline actually results in poverty and shame. And a person who does not have self-discipline, we learned this last week, is just lazy. A person who has no discipline themselves is a lazy person. But the person who obtains wisdom, gains it, applies it to their life, gaining self-discipline, this person will find themselves advancing. Often, no, unfortunately, because someone speaks abruptly to us. Someone is quite curt to us. We find ourselves becoming angry and then oftentimes destructive when corrected. And so because we don't like how someone spoke to us, then we mess up the potential of our future. Think about it. Sometimes a person can be giving you good instruction, but it's the tone that you can't receive. Sometimes the person is giving you good instruction, but it's the person who is speaking to you that causes you not to receive the instruction. Now, it's good instruction, but you don't like how they talk to you. You don't like who is talking to you. And so because of the way they're coming now, you find yourself not responding in the proper way, and so therefore, since you can't take it or take how they speak to you, then now you're aborting something that can bring you great promotion and growth and advancement later on. The person who is wise learns how to take reproof, even if they don't like the tone. A wise person learns how to take correction even if they don't care for the person. But as they're learning, I'll grow in this even though I don't always care for the person who's talking to me. If you leave every classroom because you don't like how the teacher teaches, you're missing the opportunity of great value. Because you're expecting everyone else to adjust to you as opposed to learning the versatility of adjusting to them. Does that make sense to you?
That makes sense.
Yes. You'll find yourself, if you can learn to be more versatile, you can learn in any setting, as opposed to expecting everyone to now adjust to who you are. As a matter of fact, just so you'll know, that's actually inward thinking. It's kind of selfish to expect everyone else to adjust to you. Yeah. It's inward thinking. You're focusing on you and your comfortability. Question. Just note to self. How uncomfortable did you make other people? How uncomfortable do you make? Now, I'm not saying that people make you uncomfortable. How uncomfortable do you make other people? Think about that.
Wow.
That's interesting. Yeah, that's interesting. Reproof means correction. Heeding reproof means to guard, to protect, means to treasure in memory, to put into practice. So then, if you take correction and you treasure it, you learn from it, the Lord says it's going to actually lead to honor in your life. What do you say to Pastor? I'm saying this, that receiving in correction and applying correction and instruction will lead you to honor. Matters not who's talking to you or how the person talks to you, because now you're actually growing because the disrespectful person spoke to you. The annoying person was talking to you. And you find yourself being able to grow and you're able to work with all kinds of people. Yeah. Right? Number 5. I see how it makes y'all uncomfortable. That's interesting. So how uncomfortable you make other people? This makes you uncomfortable. Number 6. Ceasing from anger leads to honor. Ceasing from a strife or anger leads to honor. Proverbs 20, verse number 3 declares, it is an honor for a man to keep aloof from strife, but every fool will be quarreling. Some people love to argue, fight, and just stir up trouble. There are just some people, in their own twisted way, that they actually get a sense of pleasure when strife and contention arises. Some people are not happy unless other people are angry and frustrated. Now, if you're sitting next to somebody like that, just keep looking forward. Don't go like this. But some people, they're not just happy. They're not happy unless somebody is miserable. Okay. The Bible says about us, we're actually supposed to be. We're supposed to create peace. We're supposed to seek peace. We're supposed to create peace. We're supposed to seek peace. Those who do so will be highly esteemed and they'll be honored by other people. Only a fool keeps picking fights with other people. I'll never forget this, in my third grade class, our third grade teacher was Miss Wall. And in the third grade class that we had, there was this guy, two guys, and I won't call names because again, this is a small world, and so you like to get to somebody. So there was a guy in the class, he bullied another guy who was twice smaller than him. And so the other guy, he was tiny and he was skinny, but the other guy, he was big and he was burly. And he beat the guy over and over again, over and over again, over and over again. And one day, while in the middle of class, the guy kept doing it, and the little dude just gets up and he starts fighting. I mean, he goes in on him. And I'd never seen anybody fight this way until that particular day. The little guy comes in and he's punching like this. That's how he's punching. It was hilarious. I hadn't seen that done before. The other guy is trying to swing around like this. But so imagine that was happening. As the other guy's swinging like this, the little dude, he's doing boom, 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 boom. So the other guy, his head keeps going, keeps going back like that because, and then he beat him so bad, and Miss Wall, bless her lovely heart, she saw it. She stopped and let it happen for a minute. She let it happen, and then she intervened. I guess she was saying, he deserves this moment of glory because this dude been picking him for all this time, so he was going to show us something. And it was amazing is that guy never bothered him for the rest of the year. Only a fool keeps picking fights. Because one day you're gonna find, you'll pick up with somebody, and if you may have met your match. We're supposed to seek peace, and we're supposed to produce peace in every situation. A wise person, the Bible says, will overlook the offense of somebody. A wise person will be slow to anger. A wise person knows how to rule his own spirit. A wise person will avoid fights. A wise person will discuss personal offenses in private without telling people about it in public. All right? If that problem was in the day, it'd be something like this. A wise person settles an argument behind closed doors and doesn't put it on social media. That's interesting. So, ceasing from strife leads to honor. Number 7. The fear of the Lord leads to honor. Now, we've already dealt with this a bit in humility, but it merits because its own section because of what it is. Proverbs 22, verse 4, we've already read this before. The reward for humility of the Lord is riches, honor, and life. So, a wise person will be humble, we've already saw that, and a wise person will fear the Lord. And that wise person who does those two things will discover permanent satisfaction in that they're going to have riches, honor, and life. They're going to gain these things. And by revering the Lord, what that means is the person who fears God will be conscious of their action, will be conscious of their behavior, will be looking for the approval of God through their testimony and how they're devoted to Him. So then, that shows us fearing the Lord leads to honor. Leads to honor. Number 8. A serving spirit leads to honor. A serving spirit leads to honor. Proverbs 27:18. Whoever tends a fig tree will eat its fruit, and he who guards his master will be honored. Sadly, the philosophy of the day is that the person who is being served is honored and they're the ones that are great. That's not what Jesus said at all. Jesus said, he that is greatest among you, let him be the servant of all. He even tells us stuff like, if you give a glass of water in the name of the disciple, you'll receive the disciple's reward. He told the people, if you're looking for greatness, he went and got a child and he put the child in the middle of the circle and says that the person who is like a child is the greatest in the kingdom of God. In this particular text, it's actually showing us that the person who is the caretaker for the fig tree has the benefit of eating from the fig tree. So it then says, the person who knows how to serve the one who employs them, their master, their supervisor, their boss, that person will be compensated and recognized for their service, because they understand that if they serve and they're reliable and hardworking, that they'll be rewarded, they'll be compensated for being hardworking, and they'll be compensated for their faithfulness. They'll be compensated because they were honorable to the person that was over them. Now, please see it. David shows us this. 1 Samuel 17. Make sure you read it at some point. Saul was crazy, y'all. I mean, this dude was trying to pin him to the wall on several occasions. And in that 17th chapter of 1 Samuel, it kept saying, but David behaved himself wisely. And David helped himself wisely. And David behaved himself wisely. Meaning this, that when Saul was erratic, David knew how to control himself. Now, that meant then that David's mentor was insane.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. David's pastor, y'all.
Oh, yeah, you put it on.
His pastor kept trying to kill him, y'all. Yeah. And it was interesting. And David realized that, Lord, I have no message on. David understood, let me honor him. Let me show my respect towards him. And check the scripture out. When the man came back and said, and Saul tried to kill himself, but I helped him out because he was going to die anyway, so I went ahead and helped in his life. David said, who are you? Who are you to touch God's anointing? You had no right to lay your hand on him. Now, think about it. David was convicted because he tore a piece of cloth off the man's robe and felt deep conviction. So David said that if I felt conviction because I tore some of his clothes and I knew I was wrong, who are you to take his life? This man is thinking he's bringing David a good report. Now, David, you can be king. After all, the oil's on your head, David. David's like, no, man, you deserve to die. And he put him to death. Yeah, because he understood the system of honor, even though Saul's behavior was not always conducive for him. Actually, if you saw, see what happened, Saul's training for David prepared him for irrational people who would serve him in his kingdom. Taught him how to deal with it. Yeah. So sometimes we're running away from the best teachable situations because we just don't like, they don't treat me right. They're abusing me. All right. Another question. How do you feel when people keep overlooking you? When people keep overlooking you over and over again, how do you feel emotionally? Have you ever taken out? I'm going to help you out. There's two things that happen. Number one is pride. Yeah, y'all got quiet, y'all. I didn't get any amens or like, you tell the truth, Pastor, they're like, whatever. And the second thing is probably stubbornness. Pride and stubbornness often work in us when we're overlooked. And when we're overlooked, we often find ourselves becoming not only prideful, we often become rebellious as well. Pride and stubbornness. Check and see what's happening on the inside of you. Because if you tell me that promotion comes from God, that God exalts one and he puts down another, and that if you humble yourself, in due time, the Bible says, in due time God will exalt you. If you believe that scripture, then when you're overlooked, it just meant it wasn't your God. Oh. But, so then, how do I deal with how I feel when I'm overlooked? Ooh, Jesus. Did I make you uncomfortable again? A serving spirit leads to honor. Number nine. Giving to the Lord leads to honor. Giving to the Lord leads to honor. Proverbs 3, verse 9 and 10 says, honor the Lord with your wealth and with the first fruit of your produce. Then your barn will be filled with plenty, and your vats will burst with wine. Please see something here. That you honor the Lord with there's two things. Honor him with your wealth, honor him with your first fruit. Y'all see that? Honor him with your wealth. Honor him with your first fruit. This teaches us that we're supposed to give God our first and our best, and the principle is tithing and first fruit. There are different, we talked about it before, tithing and first fruit. The tithe and the first fruit, which are different, if you remember that from our lesson before, these are principles of the system of God's economy. Now, this principle shows us, all the Old Testament, by the way, the first of the land belonged to God, the livestock belonged to God, the crop belonged to God, money that was gold, metal, silver, etc. The first of that belonged to God. The first and the best belonged to Him. There are the four things that tithe and first fruit teach us. Four things. Number one, it is that it's a sign of covenant with God. The reality is, in the same way that those who tithe in the Old Testament were circumcised and they gave to God the tithe because of circumcision, the New Testament believer, because of the circumcision of the heart, gives the tithe to God because of his covenant with God. Please understand, the tithe predated the law. Abraham was long before Moses and the law was given. So for those who say, the tithes and the law, read your Bible, y'all. Because when when Abraham saw Melchizedek, he gave tithes to him. And Hebrews 7 says, Levi was in him, in his loins. Well, when he did so, and Melchizedek was in fact Jesus. It's an extraordinary concept. So then, when we bring the tithe, it's a sign of covenant with God, and the redeemed, by the way, I'll say it again to make sure you get it. The redeemed always tithe. I'll say it again to make sure you get it. The redeemed always tithe. I'll say it again because it's true. The redeemed always tithe because they know it's a sign of their covenant with God. Yes. Number two. Glory, Jesus, I felt that, Lord. Number two, these two, tithing and first fruit, are a token of our gratitude for God's blessings. It's just a sign to show that we thank Him. He's just been good to us. Right. Number three, it proclaims that we acknowledge that God is the source of everything that we have. And number four, it's a representation of the greater harvest that we have stored up somewhere else. We just brought God a portion, that's all. He didn't ask for the whole thing. He asked for a portion. And you brought Him a portion, and He left you with a greater part. Yeah. And so when we bring that, we're showing Him, He owns it all. In fact, He really does. He owns it all. And all He asked was, give me back a portion of what I've already given to you. Okay? So then, but watch this. Based off the verse 9 and 10, Proverbs 3, he says, if you honor Him with the wealth and your first fruit, or you honor Him with the tithe and the first fruit, two things are going to happen to you. He says, He's going to increase your harvest will be more than the capacity of your barn. Glory. I will make sure that what comes in your harvest will be bigger than the barns that you have. So you'll have to build more barns, glory, because the harvest that comes in is bigger than your barn. Yes. He also says, if you honor Him this way, He says, I'll make sure that the supply of wine will be beyond the capacity of the vats that you have. Meaning then, that when He allows to come in, your wine press can't contain it, and the wine vats will not be able to, the barrels that you're pouring the wine into won't be able to hold it because it's so great. So then, as the wine is flowing, you keep running out of vessels because there's more that keeps coming. Yes. Oh, wait a minute. Malachi 3. God said, if you bring the tithes, try and prove me, see if I will not pour you out a blessing that you won't have room. Yeah. It ties right back to what's being said in Proverbs 3 and 9. That He's going to exceed your capacity. So we learn this principle that for those who give, you discover that, and we sang years ago in our song, you can't beat God given. That's what we say. No matter how hard you try. They said years ago, the more you give, the more He'll give to you. So they tell us, just keep on giving. Because we discovered that His word is true. Here's your principle today, that if you honor God in your giving, He's going to honor you with blessings. I'll say it again, make sure you get it. If you honor God with your giving, He's going to honor you with blessings. I'll say it, make sure it gets in your spirit. If you honor God with your giving, He's going to honor you with blessings. I want to make sure that when you walk away from here today, you're singing this song in your heart. If you honor God with your giving, He's going to honor you with blessings. Yes, the next time you reach in your pocket to give an offering, if you honor God with your giving, He's going to honor you with blessings. The next time you're contemplating on whether I should give, remember, if I honor God with my giving, He's going to honor me with blessings. It's the principle of Scripture. Repeat that to me, and I'm going to close. God's system of honor, grants access, and promotion. Yes. When you get a chance, read the section on corrupt honor, on corrupt honor. You're going to find that one. Tying a stone in a sling is like giving a fool honor. It does not make sense to take a stone and tie it inside a sling. It's senseless because it defeats the purpose. Same way to give a fool honor is not suited for him. He doesn't know what to do. Wise people know how to handle honor because they won't allow honor to get to their head. Glory to God. Yeah. It takes wisdom to humbly walk when others are honoring you. Why? Because you'll find oftentimes your ego starts to get overinflated. And you'll think more of yourself than you ought to. Yeah. So, you don't want to be like the fool who's unsuited for honor. The other part you want to see is in the 25th chapter, and it talks about, when you're before the presence of the king, don't go to the highest seat. Sit low. Let them bring you up. Because it's one of the worst things to do is to boast about your own position. Let somebody else put you up there. One of the worst things that are happening today in today's world is that people are honoring themselves. And whenever you honor yourself, that is corrupt honor. Okay? It is corrupt honor. For you to honor yourself is corrupt honor. So I can talk about the church because I'm a churchman. And so since I'm a church statesman, I can deal with church things. That way, we'll state that I won't mess with y'all too much. I'm a little disturbed by pastors who host their own appreciation services. Yeah. Disturbing. Because you're honoring yourself. And that, in fact, is corrupt honor. And by the way, if no one ever honors you, your service is actually unto God, who sees everything, and according to Scripture, He's not going to let anything you do go unrewarded. Repeat this after me. Only a fool honors himself. Yes, only a fool honors himself. Only a fool honors himself. So let somebody, the Bible tells you, let someone else praise you, not your own lips. Let someone else brag about who you are and what you've done, and not your own self. Okay? And I get it, but I do understand the importance of being great. Meaning this, that if you're going to do something, you ought to be good at what you do. You ought to have a personal standard within your own self. Okay? You ought to go forward with excellence and intelligence and confidence in the power of God. You really should. Okay? Really should. But don't do it to be honored by other people. Do it to bring glory and honor to our God and advance His kingdom. Let's pray. Father, I thank you that you're amazing. We love you with our heart, mind, body, and our soul. Thank you for the privilege, Lord, to be able to serve you. You're just a great, great God. As we look at honor today, forgive us some times that we did not honor others properly. Lord, as you forgive us, help us, Lord, to be honorable, to honor you, to honor others, to honor our leaders, to honor widows, to honor our parents, God, and just be honorable all around. Thank you, Father, for what you're doing. Help us to apply wisdom and to be gracious, to keep that serving spirit, and to be teachable, to show demonstrate humility and have the fear, you're fearing you, and to give to you, Lord. And Father, I also pray, help us, Lord, in those moments where pride and stubbornness and corruption will try to creep in and distort the true honor that comes from you. I thank you, Father. We're going to bless you. We're going to honor you as we honor others as well. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen. Let's pray ourselves a good day. If you need envelope, just raise your hand. Someone will try to assist you with that. I do want you to put an announcement so you know exactly what they are. On Thursday is Thanksgiving. The office is closed tomorrow through, as a matter of fact, at the close of the day, so we'll be closed until Friday. So if you don't mind, next week, let me thank all of you for what you do on Sunday, Family and Friends Day. You guys were amazing. It was great. Thank you for those who helped and served and with the waffles and all that good stuff. But it was an awesome time. We had waffles galore, yes, there was all kinds of waffles. And so thank you for your work and your effort. We so appreciate that. Thank you for the gifts that you've gathered as well as groceries to give blessings to families. We set out to serve 6 large families. And you guys rocked. I'm telling you, we had, I think it was the least family was like 5, so it was 5 or more in the family. And those boxes were packed. You guys were amazing. So thank you so much for doing that and being a blessing to those families. We so appreciate what you did. And the family was absolutely elated. They were elated in tears, etc., because you decided to be a blessing to somebody else. So thank you for your efforts and your work. On December 4th is our last corporate fast day for the year. December the 6th and the 7th is, which is next week. Friday, Saturday is our leadership. On Friday we start at 2 p.m. and on Saturday at 9:30. Again, Friday 2 p.m., Saturday at 9:30. Who is to come? All Connect Group leadership be there. All those who are on serve teams, deacons, ushers, we need you there. Youth workers, ministers, elders, we need you all there. Those who want to start a Connect group, we need you there. Those who want to help with the youth ministry, we need you there. Those who just want to get involved in the overall ministry, we need you. This is an open invitation for you to come. So don't say, well, nobody invited me. I'm asking you right now. Show up next Friday and Saturday. We need you. We need you. So join us, please. On that Friday and Saturday, we're planning the entire year. We're going to deploy you to make some things happen. We need your help, so please come and get involved. On the 15th is our Senior Citizens Day. The 15th to the 22nd is Love Week. The 18th is our last senior luncheon. If you missed those before, you gotta come out to senior luncheon. It is a blast. I'm telling you, they're having so much fun. Last time we had a guided painting. They did like 6 games of bingo, and they play an aggressive bingo game. They're playing when they start, but once that first number is called out, everybody goes into their own zone, and it's cutthroat bingo. So it's loads of fun. They're having a blast, and so you gotta come out and be a part of that. That's on the 18th. The 22nd is Lumberjack Sunday. We're just in plaids and flannels on that day. We're also serving flapjacks. It's going to be loads of fun on the 22nd. Christmas is the 25th. The office is closed from the 24th to the 1st. And New Year's Eve celebration is the 31st. There's 2 services that day, 12 noon and 10 p.m. Continue to pray one for the other. Pray for Sister Tanya Travers, who I think I saw her watching the service today. Pray for her. She's in the hospital. She has some fluid on her lungs, so pray for her that God will touch her and help speed recovery. Pray also for Sister Lauren Gills, who has a pinched nerve and having difficulty moving her leg. She's going to rehab and all that, and so pray for her as well. So that's Sister Lauren Gills, Sister Tanya Travers, to pray for both of those. We really appreciate that. Pray for each other. If you're traveling over the Thanksgiving holidays, be safe out there on the roads. If you're eating during Thanksgiving, which I know you are, please make sure that you eat within reason, and eat according to your diet, and eat knowing there's another meal that's coming. Another meal that's coming. So you're all right. It's going to be good. So thank you guys so much. It's time for us to give. Thank you, Pam, for putting the cash out up there, the cash tag. So those of you who are going to give by cash tag, please do that today. Remember again, if you honor God with giving, He's going to honor you with blessings. Let's stand. We're going home. Go with the Lord's time. We send it out. Oh, Sunday is our Building Fund Sunday. That's Sunday. We're just shy of reaching that $3,000 mark. We want to just go ahead and exceed that so we can build the wall that we need to. On Sunday, we're asking every first Sunday to give a $100 offering for building fund. If you can't do 100, please at least do 50. But we need everybody to do $100. Please do that. We're going to go ahead and do that. Get the carpet down and all the good stuff so that you can push forward. We really appreciate you taking the time and the effort to make that happen. God bless you. We bring the tithe in the air and our offering fund. We thank you today for the gift. We bring to you your tithe and receive our offering. Our request is this. Bless us indeed. Increase our border. Let your hand be on us. Keep us from evil. We'll bring honor and praise. Now may the Lord bless you and keep you because his face is shine upon you. Lord, be gracious unto you. This was confidence and give you peace. In Jesus' name, amen.